Hi folks, this is question 13. Part A here is just a simple right angle triangle, so it's a nice enough question. It's asking us for one of the sides and it's giving us two other sides, so we just need to use Pythagoras here. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared. If you've learned it that way, whatever way you've learned it, you're putting the biggest side here, so that's the x in this case, equals 6.1 squared plus 2.84 squared. So if you square 6.1, we get 37.21. If we square 2.84, we get 8.0656. We add those two together, then it tells us what x squared is. So 45.2756. And that only tells us what x squared is. We need to get what x is. So x would be equal to the square root of 45.2756. And that is 6.73 when we round it off. So that's all there. Next part, it involves an angle in it. It has a theta in there that we have to work out. Because it involves an angle, we have to use sin, cos, tan. We have to use SOHCAHTOA. So sin is the opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is the adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is the opposite over adjacent. Right, if I look at the angle theta, the opposite is over here. The adjacent is down here. The hypotenuse would be up here, but there's nothing there, so we don't worry about it for this question. Therefore, it's going to be tan that we're using. Tan is the only one with opposite and adjacent in it. Tan, then, we always put down the angle next. It's a theta in this case. Now that's just the same thing as an x or anything like that. Equals, and then it's 3.12 over 6.1. Then we want to get the theta by itself, so I'm going to move the tan across the equal sign. So theta is equal to tan inverse of 3.12 over 6.1, and we're going to the calculator then, and we get 27 point. Yeah, they want it to the nearest degree, so it's just going to be 27. 27 degrees. Use similar triangles to show that x is equal to 3y over 7. This is quite a difficult question. Let's just draw them out separately and just to show, because it's hard to explain this. That blue triangle there, if I draw that out here, the bottom of it would be 7, because the whole length of the whole thing is 14. Therefore, the bottom of that blue triangle that I've drawn out is 7. The height of it is y, because up the side is y. So that's the blue triangle there. Should I change the color? Yeah, this triangle just here then. So that red triangle. Let's just draw that over here. Right, well the height of that is x. Now the base of it, because from there to there is 8, this bit in here has to be 4. And if the whole length of that along the bottom there is 7 altogether, well then that has to be 3, because that has to be 3, that has to be 4, that has to be 4 as well, and that has to be 3, in order for everything to add up to the 8 and to the 14. So this has to be 3 down here. So if you look at what's going on, well, using similar triangles, if we take the bottom triangle the bottom of each triangle, so it's 7 in the blue one and it's 3 in the red one. If we put 7 over 3, that proportion has to be the same as the height. So the height in the blue one is y and the height in the red one is x. And when we have that, then we can cross multiply. So we get 7x is equal to 3y, and then just rearrange it a little bit, get x by itself, and so you bring the 7 over and divide it, so x is equal to 3y over 7. So we've shown what we needed to show. Now, another way you could look at it is the base of the small triangle is 3, and then it gets to 7, it gets bigger by. So think about what would you have to multiply 3 by in order to get 7. So to get from 3 to 7, you would have to multiply by 7 over 3. So times by 7 over 3. So you have to do the same thing then with the x. So to get from x, you have to multiply x by 7 over 3. So that's going to be 7 over 3, and then that gets you to y. So 7, well, to get from x to y, you multiply by 7 over 3. So 7 over 3x is equal to y, and if you rearrange around, multiply across by 3 and then divide by 7, x equals 3y over 7. So it's using similar triangles there. So a difficult question here then. The area of the shaded region A, B, C, D, E in the diagram is 12 meters squared. Right, let's get rid of some of this workings up here. We're going to ignore the white bits of the triangle here. The little triangles on the end, they're not really going to help us. We're focusing on the shaded bit. I don't know, there might be other ways of doing this, but I'm going to split it up into that. So I'm going to split it up into a rectangle and a triangle. The area of that rectangle there, so this bit down here, would have to be just 8 multiplied by x, so 8x. That's the area of that rectangle. The area of the triangle would be a half times base times height. So that would be a half multiplied by the base, which is 8. Because that blue line has to be 8 there. The bottom down here is 8, so that has to be 8. Multiplied by the height. The height then is going to be this little bit up here. So if you're to think about what that is, that's going to be y, because we know y is the whole way up. And we're going to take away x, because x is that much up there. So it's going to be y minus x. So it's a half multiplied by 8 multiplied by y minus x. That's the same thing as a half times 8 is 4 multiplied by y minus x. So 8x plus, so the 8x, that's the area of the rectangle. This here is the area of the triangle. So hopefully you're with me so far. This is a complicated enough question. So they're saying that all of that is equal to 12. We have to end up working out the value of y. We know from the first part that x is equal to 3y over 7. So I'm just going to put a 3y over 7 in instead of the x. So 3y over 7 is going to go in there. And I'm going to leave everything else as it is for now. Did I do that right? Yeah. So a 3y over 7 has to go in instead of the x as well here. So 8 times 3y over 7. Now I have something with just y's in it, so I can go and try and solve. So if I multiply the 8 by the 3, it gives me 24, so 24y over 7, plus then multiply the 4 into the brackets, we get 4y minus 12y over 7 is equal to 12. I'm going to continue on down here because I'm running out of space. I want to get rid of that 7 on the bottom. I'm just going to multiply everything by 7. Then I will get 24y plus 7 4s are 28, 28y minus 12y is equal to 7 times 12 is 84. Multiplying everything across there by 7 each term. Right, 24 plus 28 is 52y. And then it's minus 12y is equal to 84. 52 minus 12 is 40. Y is equal to 84. Bring across the 40 and divide it. Yeah, y is about 2.1. So that's what I'm getting. Now it doesn't look realistic if you look back up here, because so the bottom of it, imagine there is 8, and then we're saying that this up here is 2.1, so that doesn't really look right. Yeah, but that's what I'm getting. So that's it. That's all for that question, and that's all for that paper.